This narrative reflects a deeply emotional fictional account of a well-known public family facing sudden and overwhelming personal challenges. It explores how a family admired for their happiness and unity can be portrayed in a moment of imagined crisis, and how such storytelling highlights the fragility of life and the strength found within close relationships. Rather than focusing on real events, the story emphasizes universal themes such as love, loss, resilience, and emotional support. It also shows how public admiration often overlooks the private emotional realities families may experience. Through this lens, the story becomes less about fame and more about human connection, reminding us that behind every celebrated image lies the potential for struggle, growth, and unity during difficult times. A family, seen as a symbol of happiness. The story begins by describing a family widely admired for their warmth, humor, and visible bond. To the public, they appear to represent success not only in careers but also in personal life. Their shared moments, interviews, and public appearances create an image of stability and joy that many people look up to. However, beneath this polished exterior lies the same emotional complexity that exists in every household. This section highlights how public perception often simplifies the reality of family life, turning real people into idealized versions of themselves. The narrative builds on the idea that admiration from afar does not reveal the full emotional depth of a family's private world. It sets the stage for understanding how quickly circumstances can shift, even for those who appear to have everything under control, when unexpected change disrupts stability. In this fictional narrative, an unforeseen emotional event disrupts the sense of normalcy within the family. Life, which once felt steady and predictable, suddenly becomes uncertain and overwhelming. The shift is not just external but deeply internal, affecting how each family member processes emotions and daily routines. This moment emphasizes how quickly life can change without warning, forcing individuals to adapt to new emotional realities. The focus here is not on specific events but on the universal experience of sudden change and the emotional impact it brings. It illustrates how stability is often something people take for granted until it is challenged. The family is now faced with a journey they never expected, one that requires emotional strength and unity to move forward. Emotional response and human vulnerability. As the situation unfolds, emotions become unavoidable and deeply personal. The narrative highlights the vulnerability that emerges when individuals are confronted with overwhelming emotional circumstances. Tears, silence, and moments of reflection replace everyday routines. This section focuses on the human side of emotional expression, showing that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a natural response to difficult experiences. It also emphasizes how public figures, often seen as strong or composed, experience the same emotional depth as anyone else. The story encourages understanding and empathy, reminding readers that emotional reactions are universal and deeply human. In moments like these, titles or fame become irrelevant, and what remains is the shared experience of feeling loss, confusion, or sadness, the quiet strength within a family unit. As the emotional weight grows, the family begins to rely on each other more than ever. Strength is found not in grand gestures but in quiet presence, shared silence, and simple acts of support. Each member takes on emotional roles that help stabilize the group, whether through listening, comforting, or simply being present. This section highlights the importance of unity during challenging times and how families often become each other's foundation when external circumstances feel overwhelming. It also shows that strength does not always look powerful or visible. Sometimes it is found in patience, endurance, and emotional availability. The family's bond becomes the central force that helps them navigate uncertainty together. Public attention and emotional privacy. In this fictional scenario, public curiosity begins to grow, reflecting how audiences often respond to personal stories involving well-known figures. While many people express empathy and support, there is also a tension between public interest and private healing. This section explores the challenges of maintaining emotional privacy when living in the public eye. It raises questions about boundaries, respect, and the need for space during emotionally sensitive periods. The story highlights how families may choose silence not as avoidance, but as a form of protection and healing. It encourages a thoughtful reflection on how audiences engage with personal narratives and the importance of respecting emotional space. Support from the wider community. As news of the situation spreads within the fictional narrative, a wave of emotional support emerges from friends, colleagues, and supporters. Messages of compassion and understanding begin to circulate, showing how communities often come together during moments of difficulty. This section emphasizes the power of collective empathy and how shared emotional responses can provide comfort even from a distance. It also highlights how people connect through shared humanity, regardless of personal familiarity. The support becomes a symbolic reminder that emotional experiences are not isolated and that kindness can extend beyond immediate relationships. Processing grief and finding balance. Within the family, the process of coping becomes a gradual journey rather than an immediate resolution. Emotions shift between sadness, reflection, and moments of quiet acceptance. Each person experiences this process differently, yet they remain connected through shared understanding. This section explores how grief is not linear but deeply personal and constantly evolving. It also emphasizes the importance of patience and emotional space when dealing with difficult circumstances. The narrative encourages a compassionate perspective on how individuals and families navigate emotional healing over time, rebuilding life with memory and love. As time passes within the story, the focus slowly shifts toward remembrance and emotional rebuilding. While the sense of loss remains, so does the presence of memory, love, and shared experiences. The family begins to find ways to honor what has been emotionally significant while continuing to move forward in life. This section highlights resilience not as forgetting, but as learning to carry emotional experiences in a meaningful way. It shows that healing does not erase the past but integrates it into a new emotional reality, a reflection on human connection. Ultimately, this fictional narrative serves as a broader reflection on human connection, emotional strength, and the fragility of life. It reminds readers that every family, regardless of status or visibility, experiences moments of challenge and emotional depth. The story encourages empathy, understanding, and appreciation for the relationships that shape our lives. It reinforces the idea that love, support, and presence are the most important elements during difficult times, and that human connection remains the foundation of resilience in any circumstance.